Chosen one, listen to me carefully, because what is happening around you is not random, and what is approaching you is not what it appears to be. You have been asking me for clarity, and now I am giving you the warning you need before you make a decision that could change your path. This is a setup, and I do not want you to mistake an opportunity for an assignment, a distraction for a blessing, or a temporary feeling for my direction. Slow down. Do not let pressure make your decision for you. What looks attractive on the surface may be hiding something I have already revealed to you in silence. Chosen one, I need you to understand why I am telling you this now. There are moments in your life when everything seems to line up perfectly. The timing looks right, the people involved seem convincing. The opportunity appears too good to ignore. Your emotions begin telling you, this must be it. But not everything that arrives at the right time comes from me. Sometimes a trap arrives dressed like an answer. Sometimes a distraction comes wearing the clothes of destiny. Sometimes what looks like a shortcut is actually a detour designed to take you away from everything I have been building within you. That is why I am telling you not to rush. You have been waiting for movement, and because you have waited so long, you may be tempted to grab the first thing that moves toward you. You may think, finally something is happening. Finally, someone is recognizing me. Finally, this door is opening. But chosen one, I am asking you to examine the door before you walk through it. Do not allow excitement to silence discernment. You have prayed for wisdom, and wisdom will sometimes tell you to wait when your emotions are screaming for action. Wisdom will sometimes tell you to walk away when your eyes see profit. Wisdom will sometimes tell you to remain silent when everyone around you is demanding an explanation. Wisdom will sometimes make you look foolish to people who cannot see what you can see. I know you have been wondering why certain things have been delayed. You thought the delay meant rejection. You thought the closed door meant you were forgotten. You questioned whether your prayers were being heard because the answer did not arrive according to your schedule. But what if the delay was protection? What if I was preventing you from entering a situation before you were strong enough to recognize what was hidden inside it? What if the person you desperately wanted to remain in your life would have become the very person who weakened your focus? What if the opportunity you were begging me to give you would have demanded a price you were never meant to pay? What if the thing you called a blessing would have slowly stolen your peace? Chosen one, I am not trying to frighten you. I am trying to awaken you. There is a difference between fear and discernment. Fear tells you to run from everything. Discernment tells you what deserves your attention and what does not. Fear makes you suspicious of everyone. Discernment teaches you to observe without becoming controlled by suspicion. Fear creates chaos in your mind. Discernment creates clarity. So do not become paranoid. Become attentive. Watch the patterns. Watch what happens when you say no. Watch how people respond when you establish boundaries. Watch who respects your silence and who demands access to you. Watch who celebrates your growth and who suddenly becomes uncomfortable when you begin changing. Watch who only appears when you have something to offer. Watch who encourages you toward wisdom and who constantly pushes you toward impulsive decisions. These things reveal more than words ever could. Someone may speak beautifully and still have intentions that do not align with your purpose. Someone may promise you everything while quietly positioning themselves to control you. Someone may tell you exactly what you want to hear, because they know that your greatest weakness right now is your desire to finally be understood. Do not surrender your discernment simply because someone knows how to speak your language. Chosen one, you have spent too much time rebuilding yourself to hand your peace over to someone who has not earned access to it. And hear me clearly, not everyone who needs you is assigned to you. You have a compassionate heart. You want to help. You want to rescue people. You see potential in people who do not yet see it in themselves. You have stayed in situations longer than you should have because you kept believing that if you loved harder, prayed harder, explained yourself better, or waited longer, something would finally change. But I am teaching you that compassion without boundaries becomes self-abandonment. You are not required to destroy yourself to prove that you care. You are not required to carry everyone. You are not required to answer every accusation. You are not required to explain every decision. You are not required to remain available to people simply because they once had access to you. There is a season when I ask you to serve, and there is a season when I ask you to withdraw and recover. There is a season when you must speak, and there is a season when your silence will protect what I am developing inside you. This is one of those moments where silence may be more powerful than explanation. Do not reveal every plan. Do not announce every move. Do not tell everyone what you are building. Do not expose your next step simply because you are excited about it. Some things need to grow in private. A seed does not become stronger because everyone watches it. Your purpose does not become more legitimate because everyone approves of it. Your calling does not require a public announcement before it becomes real. You have been conditioned to believe that visibility is always progress. It is not. Sometimes visibility is a vulnerability. Sometimes privacy is preparation. I am asking you to protect what is still fragile. There are people who will not understand what I am doing in your life, and you do not need to convince them. There are people who will call your boundaries arrogance. There are people who will call your patience weakness. There are people who will call your transformation fake, because they benefited from the version of you that no longer exists. Let them misunderstand you. You do not have to return to an old version of yourself just because someone misses the access they once had. Chosen one, this is where the setup becomes dangerous. The temptation may not come looking evil. It may come looking familiar. It may come through an old relationship, an old friend, an unexpected message, a sudden opportunity, an invitation, a financial promise, a position, a partnership, a person who suddenly says all the right things. And because you remember the good moments, you may forget the reasons you had to leave. Do not let nostalgia rewrite history. Remember what you learned. Remember the nights you cried. Remember the confusion. Remember the instability. Remember how many times you ignored the warning signs because you wanted the situation to become what you hoped it could be. I am not telling you to hate anyone. I am telling you not to confuse forgiveness with returning. You can forgive someone and still maintain distance. You can love someone and still say no. You can wish someone well and still refuse to give them access to your life. You can release resentment without reopening the door. That is maturity. And right now, maturity is going to protect you more than excitement ever could. Chosen one, there is another mistake I do not want you to make. Do not make a permanent decision because of a temporary emotional state. You may feel lonely today. That does not mean you should accept anyone tomorrow. You may feel financially pressured today. That does not mean you should sign anything without understanding it. You may feel behind in life today. That does not mean you should copy someone else's path. You may feel desperate for recognition today. That does not mean you should accept an opportunity that compromises your values. Your current emotion is real, but it does not always deserve control over your future. Take a breath, step back, read the situation again, ask questions. Seek wise counsel, look at the consequences. Do not make a decision simply because someone is rushing. Anything that requires you to abandon wisdom in order to secure it immediately deserves careful examination. If someone says, you must decide right now, pause. If someone says, do not tell anyone, pause. If someone says, trust me, you do not need to understand the details, pause. If someone becomes angry because you ask reasonable questions, pause. If something requires you to betray your principles in order to receive it, walk away. You are not missing your destiny because you refuse to compromise yourself. You are not behind because you chose integrity over speed. You are not failing because you said no to something everyone else wanted. Sometimes your greatest victory will look like rejection. Sometimes your greatest act of faith will be walking away. Sometimes the most powerful prayer you can pray is, God, if this is not for me, remove my desire for it. And when you pray that prayer, be prepared for me to answer, because I will not always give you what you want. Sometimes I will give you what protects you. Sometimes I will remove what you beg me to keep. Sometimes I will interrupt what you thought was perfect. Sometimes I will allow disappointment because disappointment is cheaper than destruction. You may not understand it immediately. You may cry. You may question me. You may feel as though I abandoned you. But later, you will look back and realize that what you called rejection was actually rescue. What you called delay was preparation. What you called loss was separation. What you called loneliness was protection from the wrong company. And what you called an unanswered prayer was an answer you were not yet mature enough to recognize. Chosen one, do not allow the enemy of your peace to convince you that every closed door must be forced open. Some doors close because they are not yours. Some people leave because their chapter is finished. Some opportunities disappear because they would have cost you more than they gave you. Stop chasing what keeps running away from you. There is a difference between persistence and obsession. Persistence says, I will continue faithfully. Obsession says, I must have this particular thing or my life has no meaning. Never attach your identity to one opportunity, one person, one job, one relationship, one amount of money, or one outcome. Your life is bigger than the thing you are currently worried about losing. You are bigger than this moment. Your future is bigger than this disappointment, and your purpose is not fragile enough to be destroyed by one closed door. Chosen one, I need you to notice something else. When the setup comes, it may target your impatience. You have been waiting. You are tired. You want results. You want evidence. You want something tangible to prove that your prayers are working. That is precisely why you must be careful. Impatience can make a person call almost anything a miracle. Do not call it a miracle simply because it arrived after you prayed. Test it. Examine it. Observe its fruit. Does it produce peace or constant confusion? Does it strengthen your character or encourage compromise? Does it bring healthy growth or unhealthy dependence? Does it require honesty or secrecy? Does it make you more disciplined or more distracted? Does it draw you toward wisdom or impulse? Look beyond the first impression. A trap can feel exciting at first, A wrong relationship can begin beautifully. A bad decision can produce immediate rewards. A shortcut can make you feel successful before you discover its cost. That is why I am teaching you to look beyond the beginning. Look at the ending. Ask yourself where this path leads if you continue walking it for 6 months, 1 year, 5 years. Do not only ask, what will I gain today? Ask, who will I become if I keep choosing this? That question will expose many things. Because the greatest danger is not always losing something. Sometimes the greatest danger is becoming someone you were never meant to be. You have been changing, chosen one. You may not recognize it because transformation rarely announces itself. But you are learning to pause. You are learning to say no. You are learning to stop begging. You are learning to stop chasing. You are learning to stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You are learning that peace is valuable. You are learning that access is earned. You are learning that obedience may require you to stand alone. And now you are being tested on what you have learned. Do not go backward because something familiar knocks on your door. Do not reopen an old wound simply because the person who caused it suddenly sounds sincere. Do not sacrifice your future to prove that you have forgiven your past. Keep moving. Stay alert. Stay humble. Stay prayerful. And above everything, do not make the mistake of assuming that because something looks like the answer, it must be my answer. Wait. Listen. Observe. There is something you have not seen yet. There is information that has not reached you. There is a detail that will soon become clearer. And when it does, you will understand why I told you not to move too quickly. You will realize that your hesitation was not weakness. Your pause was protection. Your unanswered questions were warnings. Your discomfort was trying to get your attention. That feeling inside you telling you, something is not right, should not automatically control you. But neither should you automatically dismiss it. Bring it before me. Ask for wisdom. Ask for clarity. Ask for confirmation through truth, character, circumstances, and wise counsel. Do not chase signs, chase wisdom. Do not become obsessed with decoding every coincidence. Become grounded in what is true. Because when you are grounded, manipulation becomes harder. When you know who you are, flattery loses its power. When you know your values, pressure loses its power. When you know your purpose, distractions lose their shine. And when you know that you do not have to force what is meant for you, desperation loses its grip. Chosen one, this is why I am warning you now. Do not make the mistake. Do not trade long-term peace for short-term excitement. Do not trade your values for temporary acceptance. Do not trade your future for immediate comfort. Do not trade your discernment for someone's approval. Do not trade your identity for a relationship. Do not trade your integrity for money. Do not trade your purpose for applause. And do not trade your peace simply because someone has finally offered you what you once begged for. Remember who you became while you were waiting. Remember the strength you developed when nobody was watching. Remember the lessons that cost you tears. Remember the boundaries you learned through painful experience. Remember the wisdom you gained from situations you never wanted to experience. None of it was wasted. And now, when the setup appears, you will not respond like the old you. You will pause. You will observe. You will ask questions. You will pray. You will listen. You will refuse to be rushed. And if something is not for you, you will have the courage to walk away, even when your emotions tell you to stay. Because you are no longer choosing based only on what feels good. You are learning to choose based on what produces good fruit. And that distinction will change everything about the next chapter of your life. And that distinction will change everything about the next chapter of your life. Because the next chapter is not being built on emotion alone. It is being built on wisdom, patience, and the ability to recognize what is truly aligned with your purpose. Many people lose what was meant for them because they could not wait long enough to see clearly. They allowed urgency to become their guide. They allowed fear to become their counselor. They allowed pressure to become their motivation. But I am teaching you a different way. Chosen one, there are things happening behind the scenes that you cannot yet see. While you have been focused on what is in front of you, I have been working in places your eyes cannot reach. I have been rearranging circumstances. I have been exposing hidden motives. I have been closing paths that would have led you into confusion. I have been redirecting conversations. I have been preventing connections that would have distracted you from your assignment. You may think nothing is happening because you do not see visible movement. But silence is not inactivity. Waiting is not abandonment. Delay is not defeat. Some of the greatest victories begin in seasons where it appears that nothing is changing. Do not underestimate what is happening beneath the surface. A tree develops roots before it displays fruit. A foundation is established before a structure rises. Preparation often occurs in hidden places. And because preparation is hidden, many people become discouraged before their breakthrough arrives. They mistake invisibility for failure. They assume that because others cannot see their progress, no progress exists. But your growth is not measured by public recognition. Your growth is measured by what has changed inside you. Look at how differently you respond now. There was a time when rejection would have shattered you. There was a time when criticism would have controlled your emotions for days. There was a time when being ignored would have made you question your worth. There was a time when a closed door would have convinced you that your future was over. But you are not the same person anymore. You have survived things that once seemed impossible. You have recovered from disappointments you thought would destroy you. You have endured seasons that tested every ounce of your faith. And because of that, you are stronger than you realize. That strength is part of the setup, not a setup for failure, a setup for revelation, a setup for elevation, a setup for clarity, a setup that will reveal who truly belongs in your life and who only belonged in a previous season. Chosen one, not everyone can go where you are going. This is one of the hardest lessons for people with loyal hearts. You want to bring everyone with you. You want everyone to succeed. You want everyone to grow. You want everyone to understand. But every journey has different assignments. Every person has different choices. Every soul has different priorities. And sometimes the most painful reality is discovering that someone you care about is committed to remaining where they are while you are being called higher. Do not allow guilt to keep you trapped. Growth often requires separation. Not because you are better than anyone. Not because you are superior. Not because you are more important. But because different directions eventually create distance. If one person is pursuing healing while another is committed to chaos, distance appears. If one person is pursuing discipline while another is committed to excuses, distance appears. If one person is pursuing purpose while another is pursuing distraction, distance appears. That distance is not always punishment. Sometimes it is simply evidence that paths are no longer aligned. Do not force alignment where alignment no longer exists. You cannot build your future while constantly returning to your past. You cannot fully embrace a new season while secretly longing for an old one. You cannot walk through a new door while refusing to release the handle of the previous one. There are things you must let go of. Old expectations, old identities, old fears, old habits, old narratives, old attachments, and perhaps most importantly, the old belief that your value depends on who chooses you. Chosen one, hear me carefully. Your value was never determined by who stayed. Your value was never determined by who left. Your value was never determined by who approved of you. Your value was never determined by who rejected you. Your value existed before any human opinion entered the picture. That is why you must stop measuring yourself through the eyes of people who cannot see what I placed within you. Not everyone will recognize your purpose. Not everyone will understand your assignment. Not everyone will appreciate your growth, and that is okay. You were not sent here to gain universal approval. You were sent here to fulfill your purpose. Approval is temporary, purpose is eternal. Popularity changes, purpose remains. Opinions fluctuate, purpose stands. And when you understand that, you stop chasing validation from people who are incapable of giving you the confirmation you seek. Chosen one, another mistake I am warning you against is the mistake of assuming that difficulty automatically means you are on the wrong path. Many people abandon their assignment because the journey becomes uncomfortable. They encounter resistance and immediately assume they should turn around. They experience challenges and immediately conclude that they made the wrong decision. But difficulty alone is not proof that something is wrong. Sometimes resistance appears because you are moving in the right direction. Sometimes opposition appears because your growth threatens what once controlled you. Sometimes challenges appear because strength is being developed. Do not quit simply because the road becomes difficult. Examine the situation carefully. There is a difference between a warning and a challenge. A warning tells you to stop. A challenge invites you to grow. A warning drains your peace. A challenge stretches your capacity. A warning exposes danger. A challenge develops character. Learn the difference. Not every obstacle is an instruction to retreat. Some obstacles exist to reveal how much you have grown. Think about all the battles you have already survived. At the time, they felt overwhelming. At the time, they felt impossible. At the time, you wondered how you would make it through. Yet here you are, still standing, still learning, still growing, still moving forward. That is not an accident. That is evidence. Evidence that you are stronger than your fears predicted. Evidence that you are more resilient than your doubts suggested. Evidence that what I placed inside you is greater than the pressure around you. Chosen one, there are people observing your life right now who cannot understand why you have not given up. They expected you to break. They expected you to quit. They expected you to lose your faith. They expected your setbacks to define you. They expected your disappointments to stop you. But they underestimated what happens when a person refuses to surrender their purpose. They underestimated what happens when a person learns to trust me even when the path is unclear. They underestimated what happens when a person chooses growth over bitterness. And that is why your next season carries so much significance. Not because it will make you famous. Not because it will make everyone admire you. But because it will reveal the power of perseverance. It will reveal what can happen when someone remains faithful during seasons that seem unproductive. It will reveal what can happen when someone continues moving forward despite uncertainty. Chosen one, I know there are moments when you feel tired. I know there are moments when you wonder how much longer you must wait. I know there are moments when you compare your journey to someone else's and feel discouraged. But comparison is another trap. Comparison blinds you to your own progress. Comparison convinces you that your timing is wrong because it differs from someone else's timing. Comparison causes you to overlook blessings because they arrive in a different form than expected. Stop comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 10. Stop assuming that visible success tells the entire story. You do not know the battles people face behind closed doors. You do not know the sacrifices they made. You do not know the price they paid. Focus on your assignment. Focus on your growth. Focus on your journey. Because what I am building in your life requires your attention. Every time you become consumed by comparison, you take your eyes off your own path. And when you take your eyes off your path, distractions become more powerful. Chosen one, the emergency I am warning you about is not always external. Sometimes the emergency exists within your own thinking. Sometimes the greatest threat is not a person, situation, or opportunity. Sometimes it is a mindset. A mindset that says you are running out of time. A mindset that says you must force things to happen. A mindset that says everyone else is ahead of you. A mindset that says your best days are behind you. A mindset that says one mistake ruined your future. Those thoughts are dangerous because they create desperation, and desperation causes people to settle. Desperation causes people to ignore red flags. Desperation causes people to abandon wisdom. Desperation causes people to choose immediate relief over lasting peace. Refuse to operate from desperation. Operate from trust. Trust that what is meant for you does not require panic. Trust that what is aligned with your purpose will not require you to betray your values. Trust that my timing is not failing simply because it differs from your expectations. Trust that closed doors are not always losses. Trust that unanswered prayers are not always denials. Trust that even now, when you cannot see the full picture, pieces are moving into place. Chosen one, I want you to remember something very important in the days ahead. The enemy often attacks what he fears. If your peace is under attack, protect it. If your focus is under attack, guard it. If your confidence is under attack, strengthen it. If your purpose is under attack, commit to it even more deeply. Pay attention to what consistently faces resistance. Not every struggle carries the same meaning, but some struggles reveal the areas where growth is creating impact. Do not allow temporary discouragement to convince you that permanent defeat has arrived. Temporary discouragement is not a prophecy. Temporary confusion is not your future. Temporary delay is not your destiny. You are walking through a season, not becoming the season. You are experiencing a challenge, not becoming the challenge. You are facing uncertainty, not becoming uncertainty. Keep that distinction clear, because what you repeatedly tell yourself eventually shapes how you see the world. Speak life over your future. Speak faith over your journey. Speak truth over your fears. Refuse to agree with every negative thought that enters your mind. Not every thought deserves belief. Not every fear deserves attention. Not every worry deserves energy. You have more authority over your focus than you realize. Direct it wisely. Protect it carefully. Use it intentionally, because where your attention goes, your energy follows. And where your energy follows, your life begins to move. Chosen one, there is a reason I have been teaching you patience. Patience is not passive. Patience is powerful. Patience allows you to see what haste would miss. Patience reveals motives. Patience exposes inconsistencies. Patience uncovers truth. Patience protects you from decisions that feel right in the moment but create regret later. That is why the setup cannot succeed if you remain patient. The trap depends on urgency. The trap depends on panic. The trap depends on emotional reaction. But when you slow down, observe, pray, and seek wisdom, hidden things become visible. And once hidden things become visible, their power over you begins to disappear. So do not fear what is coming. Do not fear the test. Do not fear the decision. Do not fear the unknown. Simply remain alert. Remain grounded. Remain faithful. Remain teachable. Remain connected to the wisdom you have gained through every battle, every lesson, every setback, and every victory. Because you are not entering this next season as the person you used to be. You are entering it with greater discernment, greater strength, greater maturity, greater clarity, and that changes everything. The same situation that would have deceived the old version of you will not deceive the new version of you. The same temptation that would have controlled you before no longer carries the same power. The same distraction that once captured your attention now reveals itself more quickly. The same fear that once silenced your voice no longer holds the authority it once held. You have grown. You have learned. You have changed. And the lessons were not wasted. Every challenge taught you something. Every disappointment revealed something. Every delay prepared something. Every closed door protected something. Every difficult season strengthened something. And now those lessons are becoming tools. Tools that will help you recognize what belongs in your future and what does not. Tools that will help you distinguish between opportunity and distraction. Tools that will help you avoid the mistake that so many people make when they become impatient and forget everything they learned while waiting. So stay ready, chosen one. Stay watchful. Stay anchored. Because the moment is approaching when everything I have been teaching you will be put into practice. And when that moment arrives, you will remember these words. You will recognize what others overlook, and you will understand why I warned you before the choice appeared.